Welcome to this week's case review. Today I'm going to be talking to one of the attorneys at Shanesmithlaw, which is John Wheatley, about one of his recently settled cases. John, tell me about the case we're here to talk about today.
This client, we'll refer to as BQ, was a 30-year-old female. She was driving down the road, just a normal day, when somebody pulled out in front of her, and she couldn't avoid hitting them, and it ended up being a front-end collision.
Okay, so she was driving along, she had the right of way, other person just pulled right out in front of them, and she hit the side of the car or the back, do you remember?
I believe she hit both the side and the back. It was kind of a front side collision all in one. It wasn't directly front to back or side to side. It was a little bit of both.
All right. And what happened after the accident? How hurt was BQ?
BQ actually ended up breaking her wrist in the accident. It was a radius, a crack in her radius. She also had neck and back injuries. And bruising on her abdomen and in her stomach. So she was pretty banged up after it. The airbags were deployed in the accident, and she ended up having surgery on her wrist the day of the accident when she went to the hospital.
Hey, did that heal quickly or easily, or is it something that's going to be with her and cause her some pain for the rest of her life?
I think the healing process went pretty well. She did a couple months of physical therapy on it. And I believe she's going to be left with a scar on her wrist where the surgery was. So I think in terms of the bone healed well, but there's a little bit of residue scarring and probably some tightness and tenderness that she'll be left with and just have to work out.
Okay. All right. Did the insurance company, did they accept liability right away, or did they try to fight you on that?
They accepted liability right away. It was pretty clear cut from the pictures and the statements that they gathered, and from what we presented to them, that it was the defendant's fault the entire time.
Okay. How were you able to get this case resolved?
Well, we wrapped up treatment. We made sure the demand was very tight. We made sure to put the time frame of letting the insurance company know that there was no waiting for treatment. Most of her treatment happened on the day of the accident because of how severe it was. We sent it off to the insurance company to settle for their policy limits, and we ended up obtaining those right away. And I think the reason was because we had a very tight-knit case where everything happened quickly, and we made sure to wrap it all up for the insurance company to where they didn't have any questions.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Sounds like they didn't have a choice but to issue the policy limits in this case. Is there anything you learned working in this case that you're going to be able to use in the future?
I think it just shows the emphasis on having tight medicals on cases and making sure that when you're getting treatment, whether it be for your neck, your back, or a wrist or anything, making sure that the treatment happens in a timely manner really avoids any obstacles that the insurance company could throw at you in terms of negotiations.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, that sounds like something that could help the other clients. So make sure there's no gaps in your care. And that really undercuts one of the defense's arguments that they use to devalue cases. So it sounds like you did a great job there, and got a great result for you and your client, BQ. Thanks a lot.
Yep. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to today's call. Remember, if you're in pain, call Shane, 980-999-9999, or you can order our free book, Victim Survival Guide to Car Accidents, at www.shanesmithlaw.com. We'll be going over another case next week and hope something we can learn from that, and hope to see you there.
980-999-9999. 980-999-9999. Shanesmithlaw. In pain, call Shane.